Hallo. Alright, trying to do something real quick. The game here in just a second. Yeah. Mm. Okay, that took like a bit longer than I meant it to. Yeah, now we're gonna get into the game. Okay. Yeah, I did start recording. Okay. Alright, let's get the game started. In the right spot now, right? The mic's working right now? Yeah. Okay. 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 A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy far out of the sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure that note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes slightly falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen frost makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hisoa? You came? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Awanako, I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it, I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result? Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for itself. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Wanako finishes even so softly again, or flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out of it if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Hisoa? I reach up to try to massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Hisoa. Maybe my whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Hiso. The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky, Iwanoko, running towards me, all these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanoko screaming for help and the instant clatter of the branches above. Four Leaf Studios presents Katawa Shoujo. Then you just had a little bit of a teeny heart attack there. Just maybe just a little bit of heart attack. Like the way they did this, it's like you're gonna getting like the clues that he's in the hospital and time is passing, but it didn't interrupt the like flow of the credit. It's really good. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. Yeah, dude. And I really like this art style that they went with in this, where it's like a realistic environments, but in kind of like a cell shaded look. And that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. So I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word. A foreign alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't one in the cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatments and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly changing its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of omen. I still asked the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was my life. That's what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mess. I was trapped inside instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I paused in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. This is just sad. He had a heart attack from the condition he didn't even know he had. And then now he's just trapped in the hospital for months, and like nobody from school has come to see him. His parents were the only one there. The doctors aren't want to even try and give him a straight answer as to how long he's gonna be there. Like this is just crazy for this teen kid to just like out of the blue just be like stuck in the hospital. It's just books is his only thing to do. Just to read. You know, this is set like kind of before we had a lot of the like a lot of people had like tablets and stuff, and so like there's like that's all he's got is like just books for their little library to read or watch TV, which doesn't even seem to entertain him at all. Today the doctor's comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he is trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers, then setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. So it seems like the doctor's like just coming and done this like all the time. He's just like, he does this every time he talks to me. He just shuffles his papers and sets them aside. Like, why'd he even have them? Hello, Hisso. How are you today? I didn't answer him, but I smiled a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some prescriptions, you should be fine. We have all your medications sorted out. I'll give your father the prescriptions. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many? I take it from his hands and take a look myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? An absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper screams insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it, attempting to only make me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life, every day? I'm afraid that is the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confident booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and we believe that it would be best for you if you didn't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Hisso. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever of my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I? It's a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of the students live on the campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's the only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look at a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like it. Read it again, because we went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. I think you'd like it. It looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This is an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school. And while it's not the same one, a special school, that's an insult. That is what I want to say is a step down. It's not what you think. All of the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right. And many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disabilities. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me, but what can I do? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny, I had always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now, something about how I can go back to school anywhere, but no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know now is futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have still have something, even if it's a special school. It's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new school will look like. Act 1. Life Expectancy. Pretty good, there it is. Back up. We missed one line. He was talking about the gate. In fact, gates in general seem to do that. This one especially so. Red brick, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wonder if it looked like that. I wonder if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked toward the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to my dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh cut grass and all the other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies. Too big, too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if this feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kinda eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about the hospital again, how they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a common color. So why am I feeling so anxious, despite all the greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous, with the realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with a bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, as it's only logical. You must be Nikki? Nakai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The head nurse asks you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Just say, yeah, of course, because we're new students, so we gotta introduce ourselves to the class. Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal? Of course. But not everyone likes to be at the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right. But it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as the classrooms for Class 3-3. Muto opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. This dude just like late all the time for the first class, and he's supposed to be the teacher? What the hell? I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step. I know that, but there isn't any point to worrying so much about it. At least not this soon. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around. Apparently so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmate. Oh, partially so I want to meet the new... Yeah, he didn't meet again. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around. Partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high, and there's lots of space left over around in between the desks. An entire wall taken up by blackboards, and the high, old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and a wooden chair with metal frame. Simple and effective. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school, but then why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them, only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. The dude in the back there just taking a nap. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. There's one boy with a cane leaning against the locker at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motion. Sign language? She peers at me over the rim of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kind of cute. So it's a cheery looking girl with the pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except one girl in the room, first row, who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for the appreciation I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisoa Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope I get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with what little I said, though. A few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along, while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round with one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. It makes me feel a little bad. We're going to do some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She is the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know. And who else would be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignment and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow, the teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh right, Hakamichi is right here. Shizune Hakamichi. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with the bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi Shujan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once, nonchalantly, to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short, yet carefully, neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of her dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, "You'll be able to talk to people, and who better to explain things to you." I can see you're a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think I was, Shi-chan. Shi-chan, is deaf. So I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know... Okay. But we didn't... Yeah. We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today so soon. Hichan, right? Hichan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fit. You look just like I imagined. Yeah, you look just like a Hichan. I wonder why everyone seemed to think so. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with her hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks. That would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kind of came straight to class today. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just with school either. Always. Even if it's a trip to the convenience store. Really? Shi-chan? Learn about where you're going. I guess I don't... I thought I still had like another 30 seconds before the ad started, but it started an ad, so we'll stop here for just a second while we're waiting for the ad to roll, and then we'll be back with this. Okay, we have it done. Wait for that to get back up on there. There we go. Oop, there we go. Okay. Yeah. What about where you're going? I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to going along with it half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything. Then I get the backpack. Okay. I don't say anything. Amisha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seemed like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. Alright. And another thing, you don't have to call Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamachi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. She looks a little embarrassed for that. Being so informal. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep. Shizune is fine. Okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly. So I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assume would be all business. Well, she still seems like that. Just less so, I guess. Alright. We haven't even touched the assignment. We should start working now, or Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. That too. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. She's like, come on, you get working on this, or you two messing around. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today. Okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Sound about right. Still, we finished it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different, though. The class rep is calm and professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish. Not to mention, a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bell rang, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I met Muto, down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in the school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classroom, the classic exterior. Okay, I guess this was just being weird. Just like everything in this school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. My chair being weird. Yeah. Its big windows open to the courtyard towards the main gateway. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. She just seems like that overly excited, bubbly person that just like doesn't care if everyone's staring as long as they're having a good time. Yeah. As long as them and their friends are happy, she doesn't care if she makes a fool of herself. There is a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realize that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. How nice. It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portion measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something at random and follow Shizune to the table, sitting opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizune. I don't understand the sign, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper and polite? Do you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guides, so you should ask us if there is anything. Or something. I could read today. Playing the visual novel game and then I can't read. Going great. I wonder. Ask about Shizune's definite. I think I got everything I need to know. Ask about the library. Ooh. Library? Oh yeah, is there a library in the school? Lately I've gotten into reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Misha gives the kind of frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, but then picks up her smile again. There is. It's in the second floor. We can show it to you sometime. Thanks. I return to my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizun sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they are talking about secret girl stuff or something? I quickly notice a conversation in sign is not enough to fill the silence. We were live in the classroom early, but we're not the first. That dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over her desk at the last row. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. Yeah, she seems like that kind of person that just like bursts into every room she's going to, overly excited and brashly. She shrinks deeply into her seat. I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if she were slowly turning into stone just from our presence. Misha and Shizun either don't notice or don't mind it, as they walk directly past her to their seats and begin to converse. I'm left wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with other students and finally the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. Maybe it's this long time spent in the hospital that made me like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Before long, the final bell rings. Freedom! School is finally over for the day. Besides me, Misha and Shizun are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, Hichan. We've got to hurry already, since there's a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Wait, the teacher said I'd have to see the nurse. Where do I go? Is that so? We can at least show you that much. Come on, the nurses have their own building, so we have to get going outside. We join the flow of students making their way down stairwells and outside, with the girls pointing out other senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually part of the main building. This is the annex building here. There's a lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Yamaku Foundation office and all the nurses' offices. They even have a swimming pool. How is that official? Don't be silly, Chan. It's for physical therapy, of course. Anyway, all the nursing staff facilities are in there too. The head nurse's office is on the first floor. You'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks. Bye. A whole building for staff that has nothing to do with the actual education? I guess it's necessary for a place like this. I walk in, hoping that this really will be only a quick visit, like the teacher said. On the white door on the left is a green cross with the text "Head Nurse" and a nameplate. A voice from inside responds to my knock almost immediately, but I can't quite make it out. It sounded a bit like an invitation to open the door, so I invite myself further in. The room is not large, and it smells strange. A friendly-looking man turns around on his office chair to face me as I enter. His desk is neat and tidy, but the bin under the table is overflowing with used medical utensils, and there are at least a dozen coffee cup rings lingering on the desk. "Hello there. What can I do for you today?" He is young-looking and sort of rugged, but the dimples in his cheeks wash that impression away when he smiles. Are you the nurse?" He smiles like a person who has heard this very same question hundreds of times. "Why, yes, I am. It says so on the door, no?" "You can call me by my name or just the nurse, like everyone else." Of course, I shake off my confusion, realizing I probably should grab his extended hand. His handshake is rather firm and friendly. "Right, I'm a new student, and the homeroom teacher told me to come and meet you. My name is, Heisho Makai. Nikki. I'm doing horrible with reading some of these Japanese names." Look, I just did that wrong. And I'm wrong. His eyes light up with revelation, and he snaps his fingers. "Oh, you're that Naki. I was just the Nakai. Probably Nakai. Oh, you're that Nakai. I was just reading your file in the morning. Some kind of chronic arrhythmia and related congestial heart muscle deficiency, right?" He gestures me to sit down in a vacant armchair in front of his desk. Yes? Good. Well, we've probably been briefed about the... Oh. Got again. Good. Well, you've probably been briefed about the school enough, so I'll just go over this quickly. We have all kinds of facilities available, mostly physical therapy and such. There's always someone from my staff around, even at night, so never hesitate to call us if they're the problem. The famous 24-hour nursing staff. Wow. This is like a hospital. Well, not exactly. For instance, we don't do brain surgery here. His joke feels out of place, that I'm left thinking why he even said it. Yeah, just that it's really weird to have so many medical people at a school. You'll get used to it. I'm not sure of that myself, but I don't let the nurse know it. Now, let me just find your files again. While he searches for something from his computer and shuffles stacks of paper around, I let my gaze wander around the room. It's the epitome of generic, I'd like to say. Beige walls and ceilings, dark gray laminate flooring, and all the equipment that you'd expect from a school nurse office. Even the ridiculous educational posters are hanging on all four walls, reminding me to eat properly 3 times a day and from all the food groups. Smiling, the nurse draws a thick file from a stack of similarly thick files and opens it. "So, you already have medication for the arrhythmia? Just remember to take your pills every morning and evening, or it won't be much help. Apart from that, do you have any sports? Rash stuff like, I don't know, boxing? He grins at his own joke, but I don't. Well, I played soccer occasionally with some classmates. Alright, I'm afraid I'm going to have to recommend you refrain from doing that, at least for the time being. Oh? My lack of reaction makes him raise an eyebrow, but really I'm not too bothered by him forbidding me to kick a ball around. I guess I never did it out of burning passion for the sport, just to have something to do. Any kind of concussion might be very dangerous to your heart, and risking another heart attack is not a good idea. Was the previous one caused by a sudden concussion to your chest? There is no mention of the cause in your papers. Not exactly. I sidestep the question acceptably, and he glances at me over his papers with a more serious expression on his face. Still, you need to keep your body healthy, so some exercise would do you good. We have physical therapy and such available, as I said, but I don't think you really need such heavy measures. Just get some light exercise regularly. Brisk walks or even a light jogging, jumping rope, that sort of thing. Swimming maybe? There's a pool here. So I was told. You were very good. At any rate, I'm sure you've been told this before. You just need to take care not to overexert yourself. He wags his finger to emphasize the point. No need, really. I've heard this 1,000 times already. Absolutely no unnecessary risks. Take care of yourself. Okay? He goes over my papers one more time and sets them on the desk, obviously content. Good. That's it then. Come meet me if you ever need something. I'm ushered out before I even realize it. A quick visit indeed. That's funny. The nurse is just like, yo, don't be an idiot and try and run around and do stuff that's gonna make your heart race. Or isn't that eat good and do a little bit of jogging? But I love how he's just like, well, it makes sense, but I never really even thought about it. Like he could have just like gone to try and play soccer with some people and then collapsed because he was like, I didn't even think about it. Apparently the F key takes you in and out of full screen with the game. I didn't realize that till like a minute ago when I was like, what? I accidentally tapped. Okay, please continue. I end up standing in front of the main building and and the auxiliary building. Although to my eyes, they still look one and the same. It's the first real look I got at the other students, so I watched people coming out of the school, going towards the gate or the dorms. Everyone seems to know where they're going. And I still keep thinking that most of them don't look too special for being students at a special school. Then again, neither do I. Does that make me one of them? One of us? I should go somewhere too, to prevent me from getting lost. It's around dinner time, but I feel tired instead of hungry. The wariness in my The wariness in me only grows as I trudge towards the dorms, set a little ways apart from the main building complex. There is a garden of sorts between the school and the dorms. Shrubbery, flowers, and that overbearing smell of fresh-cut grass that fills the atmosphere. It dawns on my tired mind that the smell feels novel, but I haven't been outside at all for so long. The dorm building is big and made of red brick, like the others. It feels way too pompous for what it is, so I push forward going inside. It takes me more time than necessary to fish out the key I was given from my pocket. Room 119. Despite the ornate exterior, the inside of the dorm is fairly new, functional, and boring. Just like in the main building, the halls and doors are wide to accommodate wheelchairs. The same goes for the elevator at the end of the hallway. I poke my head around the corner of the common room door. Inside, a few students are watching the TV. One nods and gives a quick hello before turning back to the TV. Seems that only the girls around here are sociable. I suppose that's perfectly fine with me. I climb the stairs to the upper floor. Here, small corridors branch off from the main hallway. Each of these minor halls seems to have a toilet and shower, as well as 4 rooms. About halfway down the hall, I spy room 119. The nameplate on the room adjacent to mine are blank. I guess there are just 2 of us here. Light shines from below the door of 117, so I knock lightly. Hello? Is anyone home? From inside I hear a few movements, then the clicking of the way more locks than I thought these doors had. After a moment, the door squeaks open. A bespectacled boy is standing in the doorway. He is looking at me very intently through his extremely thick glasses. Who is it? Blind? No, at least not completely. Why would he have eyeglasses if he was? He leans closer to me until our noses are almost touching. His breath stinks of garlic. He's so Naki. I'm moving into the next room. I thought I should introduce myself. His face suddenly brightens in realization, and he stands back upright, thrusting his hand out in a smiling greeting, almost straight to my diaphragm. Oh, sup, dude? Name is Kenji. Hi. I take Kenji's sweaty hand and shake it, still a little rattled by the sudden change of attitude and vehement welcoming. There were some suspicious-looking people going in and out of your room earlier. It was probably my parents. Your parents? You sure? Because they could have been some other people too. You can't judge a book by its cover. His out-of-pocket proverb is left hanging between us awkwardly as I try to think of some way to respond. I'd say the chances are high enough. He shudders and makes some exaggerated hand gestures. You're a brave man, Hiso. Me? I don't think I could trust the chances. The only one I trust is myself. Does that mean I shouldn't get to know you either? He thinks about it for a while. A wise decision. Damn, you are smarter than you look. Probably. What do you look like? I hope not smart. He squints his eyes and leans closer again, but I lean backwards to dodge it. Never mind, it doesn't matter. With that, he turns, fumbles around for a moment in search of the door handle, and shuts the door behind him. So this dude's like practically blind, and he's got like Coke bottle glasses, and he's still like having trouble seeing his face. I slide the key into the lock of the door marked 119. Blank beige walls, white linens, a desk made of some type of light wood, ugly curtains. It's no one's room, impersonal, like my hospital room was. My bags are sitting at the foot of the bed, looking a lot emptier than they did this morning. The closet is sitting open, stocked with my clothes. Also, it seems that there are a number of school uniforms hanging there as well. A note is pinned to the sleeve of one of the shirts. Hi, Hichan. We've unpacked your things and made your bed. They said that if these don't fit, then you should go to the office tomorrow. If you have any problems, you can always call us. Love, Mom and Dad. Well, at least I don't have to worry about unpacking. I kind of hoped I would have, then there would be something to do. I put the note down on the desktop and lie down on the bed, feeling drained. Lying there makes me want to read something, but I have nothing with me. I wonder if the hospital conditioned me for wanting to read whenever I have nothing to do. The restless urge just keeps growing until I have to stand up. Maybe it's stress or something. I was pretty nervous about it before coming, and for the entire day too. I still am, I think. Damn, I have to distract myself somehow, so I won't be this unnatural all the time. Tomorrow I'll go borrow some books from the library. Yeah, I'll do that. But for now, the bottle of medication neatly arranged on my night table catch my eye. I pick up one and shake it just to hear the contents rattle inside, then read the glued on pharmacy label. Hiso Nakai, 2 tablets daily to stay alive. I like that it's like, if you want to live, you must take your pills twice a day. It doesn't really say that, but it could just as well. So you're just like reading between the lines, like it's like telling them to take 2 a day. He's just like, if you want to live. It's kind of twisted having your life depend on chemicals like this. I resent it a little, but what choice do I have? With a sigh, I begin my new daily ritual of taking the right number of pills for each bottle, being careful to check the correct dosage. I lie down again, feeling hollow and uncertain, and after that, I keep staring at the blank, unfamiliar ceiling for a long time. It doesn't start looking any more familiar, not even after darkness falls and long shadows draw across my room like fingers. The sheets feel slightly more comfortable, warm and nest-like against the chill that passes from room temperature here. Soon the lighter shadows of darkness that is the ceiling looks like every ceiling does at night. and it becomes the only thing I recognize anymore. The night beckons me to sleep, and I feel the coldness of unfamiliarity and fear creeping up my spine once again. I keep drifting further away from the world I knew. I wake up in a strange room. Solid morning light shimmers against the light gray ceiling. I had forgotten to draw the curtains closed last night. This is my room, isn't it? My room? This is the third room this year that I'm supposed to call mine. Various things around here remind me that, indeed, it's me who is supposed to be the one living here. My bags on the floor, my new school books on the desk, my numerous medications on the nightstand. I stare at the bottles for a moment, deliberating until I open a bottle, shake out a pill, and pop out a tablet from a foil sheet. I down them with a chaser of water without thinking about the chemistry. My uniforms are in the closet. I slink out from under the sheets and stretch my back before dressing up. Putting on a new school uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. The artificial smell of generic detergent invades my nose, but the feeling of fresh clothes against my back is a good one. A natural one. It feels like a school uniform as it should. It's not much different from what I used to wear before. That goes for other things too. So far, this place seems more or less like a normal school. Except for the people. Thinking back to my talk with Kenji yesterday, Misha's constant laughter, and Shizun's whispering sign language gestures. Well, I've only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure others are. Or perhaps people like them are what passes for normal around here. Yeah. What does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around after classes yesterday, so maybe there are clubs? If so, I wonder if I should join one. Although, all through class, the question remains on my mind, so I decide to ask Shizun about it when we split into groups. After all, she did say if I had anything I wanted to know, I should ask her. She crosses her arms and shifts her gaze slowly to Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser off her pencil down so that the top is perfect and evenly flat. Sorry, Shi-chan. Is there something you wanted from me? She's mad about it. Oh, I see. That's a good question. Hi-chan? My first thought is that means she doesn't know, which is worrying. Maybe I'm being too naive? Or negative. Oh, maybe I'm being too negative? Well, anyway, Misha, please don't prove me right. Oh, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club. A lot of people do so because there isn't really anything else to do. There are also school events, like the festival coming up in a few days. Almost every student in school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, You actually transferred in a busy time. Maybe you can help out, too. Sure. What's the festival about? Misha freezes. She had no idea. I don't know, Hichan. The truth is, it's a local event, and I'm not from this area, so... Just gotta ask the class rep, what is it? You start signing desperately to Shizune, asking her to bail her out. Shizune adjusts her glasses at the end of an oddly grandiose flourish and starts signing hard and heavy. Huh? Oh. Who cares? Misha puffs out her chest as she shouts Shizune's words out at me with a disproportionate amount of pride. Too loud. I can see her turning to look around in our direction. Not so loud. Human beings evolved with each generation. The ideals and beliefs behind a festival will inevitably change with time. Now it's about delicious fried food and amusing little games that you play to win prizes. The teacher clears his throat very loudly, battling his long wooden... What? Oh, bad. Okay. The teacher clears his throat very loudly, batting his long wooden pointer against his other palm like a baton. He shoots a pointed glare at us. Finally noticing where we are, Misha stiffly stifles a yelp and quickly quiets down. Shizune doesn't seem embarrassed at all, though brushing it off without a care. She's probably used to this. The girl's just like being bubbly and making all kinds of noise that she can't hear, but that everybody else is staring at her for because she's being loud. We are in the middle of class. It should start working. That's right, Shizune. What? That's right. Hichan, are you asking because you're interested in joining a club? It could have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchanged between them. Misha's tone has also changed, although it does that every other word anyway. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Misha and Shizune look at each other again. I'm about to ask what they have in mind when something dark flutters in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the girl with long dark hair get up from her desk and slip silently towards the door. It doesn't seem like she was working in any group, and no one seems to notice her but me. I glance at the teacher, who also is looking at the dark-haired girl go. Why doesn't he say anything? Hichan, is something wrong? Do I look as uneasy as I feel? Or was Misha just looking at me, looking after the girl who left? No, nothing. Okay. Well, like we were asking, you don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought I would go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. Do you want to have lunch together then? Sure. Yay! Okay, Hichan. Perfect. The rest of the class passes uneventfully. The girl with the long hair never comes back. Before I have time to put any more thought into where she could have gone, the teacher informs us that it's time to stop working. Shizune looks more than a little annoyed that we only just barely managed to finish all our work on time. I'm just glad we finished it at all. It's not a contest or anything. Yes, it is, Hichan. Impossible. Really? Really. I've noticed this before, but it's kind of funny how Misha is always moving her hands and signing not only everything she says, but what anyone else is saying at any given time. Obviously it must be so Shizune can understand it. Her eyes dart back and forth between Misha's hands and me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm talking to Misha, but that might be wrong. Maybe I should face Shizune? I'm used to looking in the direction of the person whose voice I'm hearing, but really, Shizune can't hear me, but it would be disrespectful to talk to her only through Misha. Then again, isn't that what she's doing? No, she's at least looking at me. This is all very confusing and will take some time to get used to. Oop. It's not a contest because contests are competitions over a prize. If there's no prize on the line, it's not really a contest. Shizune's eyes flash dangerously with competitive glare. She stares at me, as if surprised that I'm challenging her. I think maybe this is a contest to her. Yes. You has made yourself class rep. She is like, I must be done before everybody else. Must be better. Faster. Stronger. I never noticed before how dark and blue her eyes are. It's truly an alluring gaze. Are you sure, Hichan? Very sure. You're wrong, Hichan, because I don't want to be the slowest one in the class. Therefore, what's on the line is my confidence in my abilities. And the prize is the satisfaction of proving them. Shizune pushes her glasses up the bridge of her nose in a very matter-of-fact way. I'd argue more, but the bell rings, and she quickly gets up and picks up her bag, looking at me expectantly. I'd had almost forgotten that I was supposed to have lunch with them. Where do you want to eat? The cafeteria? That's so plain. Okay, let's go. Plain? Well, I guess. At my old school, I liked to eat outside near the back of the building. It was a good spot, but I didn't find it until near the end of my freshman year. I wonder if there's a similar place to eat here. Misha seems to imply as much. Shizune and Misha pull me towards the cafeteria, which is surprisingly not packed. Maybe some students favor eating in classrooms or outside. I say some of my classmates had I saw some of my classmates had boxed lunches. After we finish eating, Misha picks up where we left off earlier. So, Hichan, you wanted to know about clubs and stuff, right? Right, Shizune. Okay. I guess it makes sense to ask first. Exchanging little nods of confirmation, they turn to face me again, and Misha straightens her posture as if she is about to deliver a speech. Hichan, do you have anything you're really interested in? I used to play soccer, but I'm not really into it. I don't follow the teams and players or anything like that. As of late, I usually just read a lot. They're the book club, right? Shi-chan? Right? But it seems like they have all the members they can possibly have right now. Sorry, Hichan. It's really popular club. Ah, okay. But more to the point, Hichan, does this mean that you don't have anything already in mind? Not really. Good, great. That's great, Hichan. Really great. Why is it so great? No reason. Sure. No reason, sure. Well, Hichan, other than clubs and the upcoming festival, there is one other thing. Student council. I see. I didn't know this school had a student council. That was a very melodramatic setup, though, just to tell me that. I'm pretty sure the two of them know this, because Shizun looks a little embarrassed about it, and Misha is laughing. Nope, I guess the ad just started. Okay, when the ad ends, then we'll go through a little more of this, and then probably try and get at least one or two like moderate runs in on truck sim. We got the ads going on Twitch right now, so we're just waiting through that, and then we'll do a little bit more of Katawa. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I didn't read this one. Let's read this. Shijun quickly retakes control of the discussion. In a manner of speaking. After all, it's still Misha who has to voice whatever she says. Right. Hee-chan, maybe you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes? Definitely. You should definitely join. Why? Well, for one, we could hang out every day, Hee-chan. Shi-chan and I are both in the student council. Why do I feel like they're the only ones in the student council? Actually, Shi-chan is the president. I'm starting to get a suspicion that Shizun and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk to about this. As if reading my mind, Shizun quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha. Of course, we're not trying to get you to join just because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council and therefore have an incentive to try and get you to. So you're admitting that? No, we admitted nothing. I mean, Hee-chan, of course, it would be nice if you joined, and we'd appreciate it. But even without all that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the workings of one's school. Yep, it's true, Hee-chan. Besides, don't you want to spend time with us after school, Hee-chan? I can't tell if she's being genuine or if this is just really good acting. Both of them seem to be trying hard to look their cutest, although they are already pretty cute to begin with. Well, so it's settled then. Welcome to the student council, Hee-chan. Didn't even give him a chance. He didn't say yes, no. He's just like, and they're like, we've decided for you, you're joining. What? No. Aw. See, Shi-chan? Of course it wouldn't go so easily. Yep, that's right. Though it would be boring if it went that smoothly. Oh well. Shi-chan owes me candy now. You were betting on it? My life is not a game here. Shizun seems very intrigued by this when Misha signs it to her. The aggressive glint returns to her eye. That's interesting, Hee-chan. Let's play a game. That's not what I said. How about rich man, poor man, Hee-chan? If you lose, you have to join the student council. No, absolutely not. Oh, why not? Well, because you two both have the same incentive and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to join the student council, right? Yep. Yeah, that isn't my goal. But what this means is that both of you can team up and all be at a clear disadvantage. So I will have to decline. Hee-chan, I'm very offended. Are you saying that you don't trust us and that we will pull something so disingenuous that makes me sad? She's like, I don't know this word. Disingenuous? What is this? What is this fancy word? Sorry. It's hard to tell where Shizun's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin. In order to atone for hurting a young girl's feelings, you should definitely join the students. Anything. They're just like, anything to try and guilt him into to joining the council. No. How about a game of paper football instead of Rich Man, Poor Man? Paper football? Yeah, it's a game they play in America. You make a paper triangle, and then you try to shoot it past the goalpost that the other player makes with their fingers. I remember this. Isn't it cool? It's the ultimate form of competition between two people, Hee-chan. Uh-huh. Why do I feel like they've played it a bunch when they got bored and she's like super good at it? And it's also played by elementary and middle school children. Hee-chan. That makes it a game that really separates the boys from the men. More like the boys from the slightly older boys. Anyway, I'm not going to play that either. Just the fact that you know about it means you're probably surprisingly good at it. Yeah, that's true. How did you know, Hee-chan? Shizune frowns at Misha, telling me that she probably wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with their attempts to get me into the student council, but I'm a little curious about what the student council does here. I've never been on one before, or even known anybody who was a member, so it interests me. I also kind of like Shizune and Misha, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Okay, Hee-chan, how about Risk? The game of world domination. I don't know what that is. It's a really fun, Hee-chan. You fight for control of the world with armies and everything. Sounds like Shizune would be good at it. If you want to play, we can after school. Really, Hee-chan? We can play just for fun. Hee-chan, Shizune hasn't played in a long time, so if you want to, there are no strings attached. Well, okay. Okay? Okay, perfect. We'll see you after school in the student council room, then, Hee-chan. Wait, why there? Because that's where we keep the game. I grimace to tell them how much I do not like this, but it's more for show than anything. So in the end, I agree, but only after setting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything in concrete just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends and we go back to class. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I wanted to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I'd been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. What's with the escort? This isn't to make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to his cell. What's wrong, Hee-chan? That's right, we're just going to go play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha, this all seemed a little sinister to me. I started thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hichan. Shichan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusingly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands between her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha figured Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that, I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center, surrounded by chairs, and a small desk promptly placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the table and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty blank room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something. But the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No? What do you mean, no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hichan, let's play Risk. Come on. You promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, it looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I start to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from 2 fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Hichan, Shichan wants you to know that you are taking too long to make a move. Shichan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Chichan admires your fighting spirit. It would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. You're so competitive, Shizun. She seems to take that as a compliment. I would expect that from the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizun, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index finger against her temple as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizun bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Oh, wait, please, slow down. Shizun. Hichan. Shichan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay? Those eyes of her shine with childlike mischief. They literally do. Childlike mischief. Anime eyes. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. She has a point. Attack aggressively. It's a trap. It's smarter to play defensive here. It's likely that she's just trying to psych me out. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defense set up, and I'm not going to wreck it doing something reckless. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. Shizun adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. Wah! Hichan, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. I mean, Shichan, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious because it provides a 5 army bonus, but you can attack it from 3 fronts, so you must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, Hichan, you play needs to be more daring. Ambition. I was really excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, Hichan. You didn't take enough risk. And when you did, you didn't follow through. That's terrible, Hichan. Damn, what's it to her if I played too carefully? There's no need to rub it in my face. I wonder if you'd even be any good for the student council. What's this? Reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not in that case. Giving up just like that? I expected more of you. Seriously, is Shizun trying to taunt me into joining the council? Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my second day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet. And these two, they're a little weird. Fine, I'll consider joining the council, but I want to take a look at the clubs before I decide. Really, Hichan? You're not just saying that to make us feel better? Yeah, I'm just not sure that I want to. Aw. Okay, Hichan, but we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance you'll come around. Come on, we could really have fun. We could play more Risk and maybe one day you could beat me unless we graduate before that. That doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining, you know. Wah, surely you are not that horrible at board games. Maybe we can play a game, you know then? To give you a handicap? I might have said that just to make you feel better after all. That's cold, Hichan. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Jijun scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No thanks, it's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. One flight of stairs up, and I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library whereabouts are not as easily determined as I would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there is a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's open either. It's not open either though, just barely ajar, so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for a library door to be inadvertently open, and while this one is not quite that, it's open enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside, and I can ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to this school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instantly fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though is much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head even further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek hello on my lips is quickly snatched away. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the open door to its full extent, taking in sight of a solitary figure making center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me stranded at the doorway, staring at the beautiful girl. Eventually, having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there, may I help you? Staring directly in front of her, the movement of her lip seemed to... Staring directly in front of her, the movement of her lips seemed to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi, sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks? I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movement with her head is telling. That and the slight coldness to her eyes mean she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku? Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers. Accented by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I hesitate to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lily Sato. Pleased to meet you. Hiso Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing leftly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along the shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often slightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty fingers to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offered preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observation. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizune and me, some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring the water into the teacup. As she nods, a small metallic tapping comes from the teacup, indicating it being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right. In the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. As she sits down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Yes, I is all about the coffees too, but I occasionally drink tea. I like a good flavorful tea. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it is really does seem as if she's catering to me. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes? Correct. I am class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I feel like slapping myself for the faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure, sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems, all too ready to jump ship from this particular topic. I see into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of a place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunchtime. My duty as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite, while Shizune's blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school clubs. What kind of club are you are there to join? More popular ones are the track and field clubs, which uses the field near the school during lunchtime, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, those such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good. That's a relief. I've really let down my guard around this girl. To let such a thing slip out, the fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. The time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Hiso, I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. Ah, no, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shiden when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Yeah, this is the character that everybody voted in the poll for, so this is the character that we will try to romance here when we get into the game a little bit more. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you to where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it, alright? Well, unless my navigation skills fail me, which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's alright. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight rectangular cane that had been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in the class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, where Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers, we slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door, the warm-looking room apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is a wooden library counter, with the librarian proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with the distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old world air. There doesn't seem to be a lot of students here. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? He says it to thin air, since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Ah. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual. She's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came and surprised me. Are you all right? I'm sorry. I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to relieve Lily's apologies. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. She seems like she one of those clumsy people that does it all the time, that like drop stuff weird places and bumps herself into stuff trying to get things back. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concern expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look. She seems to fit a librarian perfectly. Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived? Right. They finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but amidst her celebration, partially for managing to change the topic, I'm sure, she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between modes is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Hiso, a new student. Hiso, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hiso, right? So pleased to meet you too. So, for a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hiso a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what you could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. She's supposed to be the librarian, but she's like, I have no idea what to say. I don't know what to tell him. I don't know where to send him in the library. Panic. Panic. How it's any responsibility at all, I don't get. But her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. But, so there are a lot of books in Braille here? I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third of or fourth of Yakamoku's, I'm saying that horribly wrong, library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that'd be here. If it's only that, how come the library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve all of them. It's so troublesome and they weigh so much. I wish I could quit this job. A very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books, if it's all right with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I study the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choices in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and Braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lily in snuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at a desk, either reading or slightly sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of the several beanbags. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. From the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my mind. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious long-haired girl. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself, as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate after all. Walking over to another beanbag, I take a seat and lay my book beside it. The girl starts, looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first time I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see that part of her face, at least a third of it, not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scar, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second I am shocked and divert my eyes to the books in her hand before I realize that looking away probably only makes it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself and remember what I walked up to her for. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. Hi, I'm new here. We're in the same class. You'd say sorry to want to like introduce. You'd like say sorry first, and then. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. It's okay. The girl certainly doesn't look like it's okay, but I let it slide. So, do you mind if I sit here? She seems to be very uncomfortable whether it's okay or not for me to sit, but finally she nods just a little. Okay. I take the seat next to her, and she hides herself behind her book. Life of Pi? Never heard of it. So, sorry again for startling you. I'm Hiso. She looks up from her book, stalling a little before replying. I know. We are in the same class? Her speech is stilted and so quiet that it is barely audible even in the still library. Somehow I think that my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako, I'm Hanoko. Okay, so I didn't think this section was gonna go on that long. We're probably just gonna after the ads on Twitch, and we're probably just gonna finish out with last bit of this section. Okay. And should back up. There we go. I resist the urge to say, that's a nice name, just to have something to say, but really, it's the only thing that I can think of. I feel like an idiot. Everyone here must be used to being different to each other, and here I am being all bothered and fussed about that kind of thing. Don't let me interrupt your reading. I'll just check these books, if you don't mind. She nods a little, and sighed a little sigh of relief. So I try to read the covers and the introductions of the books I picked up, and she brushes her face, and she buries her face in her book. Uncomfortable silence consumes us. My eyes still wander to her direction, and I sneak peeks at her flowing hair and the scar it's hiding. After a while, I realize that she's doing the same and only pretending to be immersed in Life of Pi. Her gaze is not inquisitive at all, though. It darts around like a scared rabbit. When our gazes finally meet, the chain reaction is unstoppable. She stands up forcefully from the beanbag and takes a deep breath. I've got to get going and do something. Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs towards the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she is nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you see or notice a girl run past here? Maybe. What did she look like? Long dark hair, kinda shy. She had, well, some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear. Yuko, would you excuse me? I had better try and find her. Sure, I just hold on to these until you come back? What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. Right. I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Yuko. I don't think I'll ever get the hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing, I was just looking for some books, and then she got this fit and ran off. The most offending thing I could think of was that I might have looked at her general direction a few times. Well, she is a very timid girl. You have to be very careful around her. She can be very jumpy, I think, and she's not accustomed to talking with other people. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder. It's just how she is, I think. Yuko doesn't sound all that convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. But how should I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casual only makes me feel phony. Like I was supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the room? Yuko fidgets, looking like she wants to say something to that, but resists it. I think it's an elephant only if you feel that way. I guess she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. It makes me smile, and she blushes heavily. What? Did that sound stupid? No, it sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else. Neither of us has anything to add, so Yuko fills the silence by shuffling some papers around. People who have papers on their desk really do like doing that. Did you find any books? I should be closing soon. I mean, this library should be closing, but I have to do it. I hope that's not too inconvenient for you. Oh yeah, I want some books, but I left them over there because I'll just go get them. I fetched my small stack of books beside the beanbags where Hanako and I were sitting and returned to the counter. Wow, you read a lot, don't you? I surprised myself with that too, honestly. At least when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier this year, so I just kind of started reading books to fill that time. I couldn't do much else. I see. But she doesn't say anything else and just checks out my books for me. I guess this is what they call tact. Holding the library books with one arm, I trawl my pocket for the key to the door. A sudden sound from behind startles me, making me nearly drop my books I'm carrying, or the key that I almost managed to get into the lock. Who is it? I turn around to see who is talking to me. It's Kenji. He seems to be in a friendly mood, although the light glinting off his glasses in the dark gives me a sinister look. It's just me. This makes him pause and lick his lips nervously. Who is me? I don't know anyone called me. Are you some new guy again? His voice is suddenly strained and quiet. Yes, but we've met before, yesterday. I don't think so. I would remember someone who I met only yesterday. When was that? What day is it today? I try to ignore him. Is he joking or what? Prove that you've met me before. You live across the hall. You're Kenji. Kenji jumps back, his eyes filled with uncomprehending fear. How do you know my name? Damn, this can only mean one of two things. Either we have met and you are telling me the truth and I just can't remember it, or you are a spy. He pauses. A psychic spy. His eyes dart around, trying to peek into my room, although it's hard to believe he can see anything through those thick glasses. His mood swung from friendly to manic in less than a minute. I'm not psychic. How do I know that? I'm not a mind reader. Kenji points a finger in my face damningly. Unlike you. I'm getting very Professor Crocker vibes from this dude. Like if he starts spinning around in the air and screaming fairies, I wouldn't be surprised. Stop that, man. We met yesterday. What's wrong with you? I live in this room. Lies. If you think you can pass as he's so because I'm legally blind, you are surely mistaken. You don't even look like him. I mean, the resemblance is real slim. Maybe at a distance, but who do you think you're kidding? I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him. What? I guess exasperated. It's a weirdly spelt word. Do it again. I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him. Exasperated, I rub my eyes and let out a heavy sigh. Stay here. Kenji comes closer, one careful step at a time. I stay still, lest he assault me physically, although I doubt he could do much damage even if he did. Oh, wait. I see it now. Damn, it really is you. This guy's crazy. Sighing again, and then once again for good measure, I step backward just in case. What's up, man? You don't look too good. I think something wrong? I don't know. Just had something stupid happen to me. A few stupid things, actually. Even if you discount this one. I can't get a proper touch on other people here. And I have no idea if it's because of me or because of them. I don't know why I'm telling you this, Kenji. It's not like we've had any contact either. That's rough, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry about calling you a psychic spy and all, but you can never be too careful. Like, this dude's like Crocker and Boomhauer just combined. It's the hard reality we live in. I'm slowly starting to think that Kenji isn't necessarily living in the same reality as the rest of us. You see, this is how it is. This world. There is no justice. You see? Even when I lose, I win. Because I don't lose the lesson. What does that even mean? It doesn't matter. He dismisses it flatly with a wave of his hand. So what happened? Why the long face? Do you have a long face? It's nothing. I just scared some girl off accidentally. Literally, too. She actually ran away from me. It wasn't my fault, really. I think I'm not really used to all this yet. A girl? A cute one? Cute? That's a hard question. She had a nice body and really beautiful hair. But the face, I guess it could go either way. So she was cute. Yeah, cute, I guess. I knew it. There are a lot of cute girls here. A strangely disproportionate amount. I believe this is one of the dark secrets of this school. I tried to warn you, man. But did you listen? I don't remember any such warning. Dark secrets? Yes, dark secrets. Extremely dark. Like a black hole. Have you noticed the number of girls in this school is slightly but significantly higher than the amount of boys, like 60-40? He turns his head to the left and stares off into the distance at nothing. Why is it like this? I mean, to the untrained eye, it doesn't appear to be that bad, but that is a full 20%. One would think that a school with such huge pool of women would be a man's dream, but no. What am I about to tell you could blow your mind. Are you ready? I don't know where this is going, but I think I would be missing much by cutting out now. No, I am not ready. I only get as far as turning the doorknob before Kenji starts talking again, showing that he doesn't really care if my mind is blown or not. I believe that the school is a battleground, the site of a feminist infiltration. This disparity in numbers of men to women is a clear sign of how far they have come. In case this Cold War turns hot, they will have supremacy in numbers. Just another skirmish in the eternal war against the forces of the feminist. They're everywhere. In Japan, Women outnumber men. It's not a 60-40 split, but it's only a matter of time, man. Even in America, women are the majority by a hair. They're building up their numbers. In the past, the buildup of the military has always been the clearest sign of immediate war. Japan is just the first step. Our economy is badass, and the country itself is small and isolated. The perfect target. They are so cunning, as expected of women. Soon, the day will come when... Kenji's voice trails off ominously. That is why you can't trust them. They will string you along and then kill you, just as they killed me. You will end up just like me. Oh, hell no. I can't stop myself from blurting it out. Hey, what the hell does that mean? You said it, not me. Is the best I can think of. So you're not supposed to say something like that? Damn, so rude. Where was I? Oh yeah, the vast feminist conspiracy. Stop it. Stop. I lost you way, way back there somewhere. Somewhere around feminist infiltration. Too hard to follow? It's cool. I have some graphs and stuff in my room. And puppets. You like puppets? No puppets. You don't like puppets? Okay. Graphs are still cool though, right? He speaks energetically, responding mostly before I'm done talking, moving his hand in an animated way as he continues to rant on. This is too strange. I had him pegged as relatively normal, but it's clear that I was wrong. Somewhere on your mind, dude. Just thinking about what's it like to be the last sane man in an insane world. Kenji frowned, looking deeply upset. You mean that's you? That can't be, because I'm the last man in a sane world. You mean that's you? That can't be, because I'm the last sane man in an insane world. That is my dream. You can't just steal a man's dream. What the hell? There can't be two last sane men. It would invalidate the whole last part. And that part is kind of important. There can only be one, like in that foreign movie where there could only be one, and in the end there is only one dude left, because that was the point. I have never seen anyone talk so heatedly and so definitively about absolutely nothing before. Anyway, if you wait here, I can get my graphs. I also have a list of other dark and complex conspiracies that this school holds as tangled as... Quick, finish my analog for me. Be a pal. I'm going to go to bed now. It's extremely late. That doesn't sound like an analog, but whatever. I like you. You seem like a cool dude. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about when I try to explain the vast feminist conspiracy to them. Denial is a terrible thing. Later. He claps me on the back and then vanishes into his room so quickly and quietly it's like he didn't even open the door but instead walked right through it like a ghost. I don't know if I can fully digest what just happened, so I give up and just go to my room, kicking off my shoes before falling face first into bed. It took me some time to relax and get up so I can get started on homework. It's because the sheets are cool and comforting against my cheeks, and if it feels good just laying there with my eyes closed. The school is like some kind of bizarre and unreal This school is like some kind of bizarre and surreal island. It's isolated on top of a mountain, and each person is stranger than the last. I just can't seem to fit in. What irony. One would think that fitting in a place that's made for people who are unfit for anywhere else would be easy. Maybe I'm just trying too hard? Although I say that, it doesn't help take the edge off. The words are left echoing off my empty walls. I guess it's not as bad as I expected, though. This place really is more of a school and less of a hospital pretending it's a school than I thought it would be. If nothing else, the serenity is beautiful. I open one eye, seeing the school books and bottles of pills arranged side by side on my desk. Maybe this place is too much like a normal school after all. Save. Use a file. Progress successfully saved. Look at the heart girl. Alright. We get anything extra? Oh, we got the cinema, gallery, library, jukebox. So we got the first. We got 2 images for the. Okay, we got a few images in here, I guess. For like meeting people. What? Why did? Okay, that was weird. Hit print screen, and for some reason it like jumped to the other image. That was weird. It's being weird. Oh yeah. I used like 2 pictures, like her with her eyes closed and her with her eyes open. We're 5% of the way into it now. Okay. We can't, read out on kicks. We're gonna go, hang out in Virulent Waifs in there. Everybody, if you guys want to join us here. Just a second. And then we're gonna raid out on Twitch to lovely Montana. Thank everybody for watching this evening. If you guys haven't already, don't forget to follow so you don't miss any of the streams. We're going to be doing more of this game and American Truck Simulator. I'm going to chat with everybody off stream. You can check out the Grizzly Pack in Discord and follow me on Twitter. Catch everybody in the next stream tomorrow at 12 a.m. Pacific.